anything you see and like here today. This way people can share in the experience that you're having, and maybe you can send them an invitation for next week. Now please rise in either body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 95 in the gray hymnal, There Is More Love Somewhere. And then please remain standing for our chalice lighting.
Well, there's certainly a lot of love here at Live Oak. Today, our chalice is going to be lit by Rosella. This is a congregation that's bound not by creed, but by covenant. So those that are in agreement, please affirm with me our church covenant now. We affirm a caring community of and for all ages, seeking wisdom, doing service, and living with integrity. In our diversity, celebrate our shared journey. And you can sit down. So, good morning. My name is Donna Durbin, and my pronouns are she, her. And so one thing that, among many things I particularly like about Live Oak is that we have had the opportunity to meet and know some incredible interns as they've spent a year with us on their journey to ministry. And today, especially, we have Reverend Carrie, and I'm so happy to be here with her. I know we have some special guests out there, and so I'd like to welcome them and any other guests that are here today. And thank you, if this is your first time, for taking a chance to walk through our doors and join us in worship. We'd like, if this is your first time, to stop by the visitors' table so that they can answer any questions. That's in the narthex outside these double doors, and so that they can get to know you. So next Sunday, which is October 13th, you will have the opportunity to learn more about Live Oak at the Exploring Membership class. And that's hosted by Reverend Joanna, our senior minister, and the membership team, and it will be in the library after Sunday's service. So this church is bustling 7 days a week. And the most definitive way to keep up with what's happening is our weekly email newsletter, and you can sign up for that at the visitor's desk. Live Oak UU has many ways for you to connect with our beloved community beyond Sunday, and opportunities are shared on our website and in our newsletter. One event that's happening actually next Sunday that I know some of the children are probably excited about is our Fall Festival, which is going to be from 11 to 2, and this is a free family event for all. So I'm going to now read the call to worship, which is called I Side with the People, and it's by Reverend Drew Patton. If ever they ask you, which side are you on? Tell them plainly, I side with the people. With the precious ones, all the integral, the soft and the fierce, irreplaceable, the beloved, if only by God and trees, who were born, who breathe and survive. Say, I side with those who keep watch beneath the bright streaming arc of bombs, with those who hide in dark doorways or who through the moonlight flee, with those who stay and fight, and with those kept up all night by hunger and grief and terror and rage, by desperate, unruly hope, who are good and green at the root, who are more than the worst that they've done, who do their best to love and still pass on the hurt in themselves that they hate. But when they take sides against each other, the people, against even themselves, side what is ever human in them, what is fragile and feeling and flesh, side with the truth of our stories, side with the fact of our pain, side with defiant insistence on freedom, side there again and again, side there today and tomorrow, side there the rest of your life, side there together until we belong each one to every other. So if ever they ask you, which side are you on? Say, it doesn't work like that. Tell them you side with the people.
Each Sunday, as we gather as a congregation, we bring our joys and our sorrows with us. When we ask for remembrance or celebration or prayer or thoughts, we make of this sanctuary a sacred circle. Mark Anderson says, a joy. My daughter is, I'm so sorry, gainfully employed this month. That's amazing, yay! I am legitimately dyslexic, so y'all, grace, grace, grace. Dan Scott, join me in congratulating Darja on the release of her album. Yay! Christina says, it's a beautiful day, and I'm looking forward to walking outside later in the evening. Amen. Lucian says, a joy and kind of a concern. Just finished a knockoff Lego set that is really fun to play with, but I think my fingers will never be the same. Good luck with that, friend. Okay, Gabriel and Josie. Josie is going to ballet class. Yay! And going to the Mariposa Ballet at Austin Ballet next weekend. That is very exciting. Thank you for the help. Dan Scott. Tomorrow is 2 years since the death of my beloved wife, Lois. Please join her family in celebrating her incredible life. This woman was a social justice warrior, a loving mother, sister, grandmother, and aunts. Our heart is with you. And Rosella, the friend I walk with every Sunday, is moving next week. It's a good move for her, better pay, closer to family, but I'm feeling down. We're holding you. For all the joys and the sorrows that are spoken or unspoken, we bear witness and we hold you. And now, just for a special moment, we are at the year mark of the ever-increasing violence in Gaza. So if you will, just take a few breaths and pray with me. That which is called and calls us together, that which calls us to more love, to fiercer love, it has been 1 year. 1 year since we learned of the attacks and the hostage-taking, and 1 year since bombs and snipers rained down on the people of Gaza, on children. In this year, we have seen images and stories of heartbreak, of helplessness, of unchecked power. We have grieved and felt hopeless. We have grieved and felt impotent rage. We ask that you hold us in our helplessness, that you hold us in our rage, that those in powers have their consciousness pierced deeply, that those who have suffered so much will have some comfort, that they will realize peace. Give us, all of us who are watching it unfold, wisdom to know how to use our voice, wisdom to know how to use our power, and in that power, may we be, as Dr. King urges, maladjusted to the structures of corruption and oppression. Give us stamina so that we continue to do the work that moves all of us toward liberation, that our siblings can heal, that our siblings might one day be safe and secure. Amen, and blessed be. And now please join me in singing Sanctuary. And now, if you are willing and able to rise,
and join me with hymn 34, which is in the gray hymnal, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire.
Good morning. I am Chris Jarman. I'm your Director of Lifespan Faith Development. My pronouns are she, her, and I have a story. I wonder if you could help me with that story. First, I'm going to ask Mike to help me with that story because I don't have the clicker, and he's going to help me do the slides, which is actually a really good thing for me, as y'all all know. So, when I do this, would all of you say something? Are you ready? Say something. Oh, very good. Say something. You guys are on it. I love it. So we're going to be hearing the story Say Something today by Peter H. Reynolds. And this story is about how a single voice, your voice, can make a difference. The world needs your voice. Mine? Yes, yours. I'm going to be honest with you, the slides aren't aligning with my story. Because we switched the PowerPoint. There was a lot going on. And that's good because we always talk about saving grace and offering each other grace and how when we make mistakes, we go on. So I'm just going to tell you the story, and maybe if Mike can try to align it, but I'm going to tell you the story. So, in the beginning of the book, it says, "You're on my team. I can't. Onward. Just be you. Think green. You've got a friend. Justice. We all have something to share. United, we stand tall. Let's right the wrongs. Thank you. Together is better. Peace. Be brave. Listen and learn. Stay strong. We've only just begun. Follow your heart. Let's stand together. The world needs your voice. Mine, you might ask? Yes, yours. Go ahead. It doesn't need to be perfect as long as it comes from your heart. Guess what? You don't have to be loud. Powerful words can be a whisper. You can say something in many ways with words, with action, with creativity. If you see someone lonely, what can you do? Say something. by just being there for them. If you see someone, let's see an empty canvas. If you see an empty canvas, what can you do?
Say something.
With your brush. If you see an empty lot, what would you do?
Say something.
By planting a seed and watching it bloom. If you see someone being hurt, what do you do?
Say something.
Be brave. Hey, stop. If you see something beautiful, you can say something with a poem or a song. If you have a brilliant idea,
say something.
With confidence, Eureka! If you want to show the world who you are, say something with style. Ta-da! If you're angry, guess what you can do?
Say something.
Help people understand. You made me feel invisible. That really hurts me. I'm really sorry. Sometimes people don't know what they do. If you see an injustice, say something peacefully. No more hurting people. We want peace. Inspire others to do the same. Sometimes you'll say something and no one will be listening, but keep saying what is in your heart. Trust me, you'll find someone who listens. Keep saying it. You may be surprised to find the whole world is listening. If you are grateful for being alive, quietly, to the stars, to the universe, thank you. Some people find it easier to say something than others. I hope, I believe, I wish. Together we can, I imagine. Let's be ready to change the world. But everyone has something to say. So when you're ready, make sure that you say something.
Say something. Say something.
Louder.
Say something.
Your voice can inspire. Your voice can heal. Your voice can transform. Your voice can change the world. Are you ready to?
Say something.
Each and every one of your voices has power. And if you see somebody sitting alone, go over and sit with them. If you see somebody being hurt, say something. If you see somebody being treated unfairly, say something. No matter what, your voice matters. And the world needs your voice. So what are we going to do?
Say something.
May it be so. And this is the conclusion of our story.
Hi everyone. I'm gonna play a song that's off of my new album that's called Insides, and I'm changing the words a little bit so that it fits better here. But yeah, I hope you like it. How come you never call me in the morning when you wake up and you're sober? It's like you only want me when you're broken, when you're by yourself and you only ever reach out on the weekend, in the late night when you don't feel like sleeping. It's when you pick the phone up, like what you're doing. You should come on over, just come on over. And I know that too many fools have fallen for you. I kinda wanna play the game too. And I know that too many hearts have broken for you. Think that someone should be breaking yours too. Knew it from the start, you tried playing with my heart, but boy, you messed up. You got me messed up. Call like you made me, now you really wanna hate me, but you messed up. You really messed up. You know it don't matter if you do what I want you to. I'll do what I want with you. Messed up. La da di da di da, la da di da di da di, messed up. You got me messed up. Now I can get you off me in the morning when you wake up. You pulled me closer, you said you could stay over through the weekend. Bet you didn't think that you'd be catching feelings. And I know that too many fools have fallen for you. You didn't know I played the game too. And I know that too many hearts have broken for you. Did you know that I'll be breaking yours too? Knew it from the start, you tried playing with my heart, but boy, you messed up. You got me messed up. Call like you made me, now you really wanna hate me, cause you messed up. You got me messed up. You know it don't matter if you do what I want you to. I'll do what I want with you. Messed up. La da di da di da, la da di da di da di, messed up. You got me messed up. Thank you.
Thank you. So the reading today is by the beloved poet Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination. It calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.
Hello again, everyone. So for a long time, probably my entire life, or as long as I had consciousness, I tried to make good my primary identity. Be a good little girl, nice and sweet and not a bother to anyone. Be a good little born-again Christian. Couldn't have people going to hell on my watch. And if you are wondering, yes, I do have biannual car cringes. Do you know what a car cringe is? When you're just driving down the road, listening to some really good music, and then bam, that horrible, really weird or embarrassing thing you said like 30 years ago comes back into your head as if it was yesterday? Yes, that's a car cringe, everyone. And I get them on the regular for all my proselytizing. When I became a teenager, and I started getting all the magazines and all the messages about what it meant to look like a good girl, a good woman. That still haunts my health to this day. A good worker, a good student, a good friend, a good partner, a good mother, a good person with chronic illness. Y'all, I am a recovering sieve, pouring out all of my energy in the attempt to be good and affirmed in my goodness. I have pretzeled myself over and over just so I could be told I was good. And then I find myself in ministry, stuff that is not good minister inside of me. I think it's some like ethereal being that I was imagining. I guess I should be floating right now. Clearly it didn't work because I'm not. This one semester, I have this person in all of my classes. It's one of those people that you're sure their mother or God loves them, but you were just not there yet. He was that person for me. And then he said something really, really horrible to a very dear friend of mine. And so I call my minister and I say, Meg, I can't be a minister because every time I see this guy, I just want to kick him in the crotch. Now she does the appropriate pastoral pause. And then she says, did you? No, of course I hadn't. And her point was, Carrie, you get to be human. You get to be angry. When someone you love is hurt and harmed, you get to be upset about it. You get to be human and a minister. You get to be human and a parent or a friend or a board member or we get to be human. That day, Meg gave me this huge blessing because it helped me to relax. It helped me to be comfortable, to bring my whole self, all the way I mess up words and names I've known forever. I could bring it into my ministry, into this holy space. And it helped me to see the ways that I had internalized the message that were meant to break me from my humanity so that I guess I could be more controllable, less of a bother, more pleasing maybe. I'm sure it's that and much more, because systems of supremacy spend so much energy trying to rob us and others of our humanity. If you don't believe me, just look at your algorithm. I know I get moisturizing ads on the daily. I can only conclude, though, that the main reason that we are trying to be ripped away from our humanity is that true liberation starts with the liberation of self. There is so much liberation in seeing the humanity in ourselves. We start to become more compassionate towards ourselves, which will then help us to resist that incessant harmful messaging of not good enough. And when we honor the humanity in ourselves, then we inherently start to honor the humanity in the other. It's much harder to other someone when we are trying to see their humanity. It's harder to demonize the other when we are trying to see them in their full humanity. Being good, in all the ways we are told to be good, is incompatible with liberation because it is incompatible with our humanity. Secondly, being good is a fixed position, one that does not allow for growth. You attain it, and that's it. You got to stay there. You often have to take a defensive posture to stay there. This summer at GA, which is our General Assembly, where UUs from all over the place get together to decide the direction of our faith, we had an opportunity to vote on the business resolution entitled Embracing Transgender, Non-Binary, Intersex, and Gender-Diverse People as a Fundamental Expression of Our UU Religious Values. Now, spoiler, it passed 92%, so no one has to worry. But during that debate, There were several people who spoke out against the resolution using what has been a widely debunked report called the case report. Now, my reaction to those people was not generous. I was very affirmed in my own goodness, thank you very much. And I had all sorts of thoughts and opinions on them. And then I had a conversation with my very wise friend who said, they're trying to rationally justify their disgust through something that they think holds authority. Instead of being like, whoa, I am reacting to another human being with disgust. Is that okay with me? Now, I do not think that those people who got up and spoke at GA were being nefarious. I don't think that they were trying to hurt anyone. They did, though. Let me be clear about that. I think what they were doing was they were trying to desperately protect themselves. Protect their identity as good people. And after I had this conversation with my friend, I had to sit in my own discomfort and realize that I do that too. Sometimes when I feel uncomfortable or challenged, instead of saying, I'm uncomfortable, let me sit with this, let me see where this reaction is coming from, and if it does or doesn't align with my values. Instead, I might interpret that uncomfortable feeling as danger, which leads to a fight or flight response. I have to defend myself, or rather, I have to defend my goodness. And in some ways, it makes sense because discomfort can be dangerous. It's dangerous to those ideas and thoughts that we hold that are not aligned with our core self, with our values, with what we're working towards. So the fight is legitimate, but it's not helpful because it keeps us stuck. I don't have slides, do I? That's cool. All right, so therapist Iris Garrett says, the more tightly we cling on to our identity as a good person, the more skilled we become at rationalizing our behavior, and the less available we are to examining the ways we cause harm. So do you see how our identity as good can undermine our growth because it doesn't allow for this kind of discomfort? It doesn't allow to be challenged in a way that would lead to growth. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't want my growth undermined. There is so much need in the world. There is so much suffering in the world. There is so much work to do that if I do not grow, if I don't get that necessary growth and transformation, then I will not be able to fully do my part. I don't want to pretzel myself and cut myself off from my humanity, even the parts that are uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. I want more from life. I want a bigger, more connected life. And good just won't allow that. That is because good requires a level of control. Looking back, I can see all the ways I controlled every situation, trying to attempt, anyways, to control how people would perceive me. If we want to work for equality and justice, but haven't liberated ourselves from good, we can get stuck on learning the rules for the rules' sake, or just to judge other people in our group. Like learning about what is ableist and sexist and racist language and moving that out of our vocabulary, but then just kind of ending there. Writer Zadie Smith says, I'm always happy when people use the right words around me and others, but it is nothing compared to decent wages, decent housing, health care, and human rights. So yes, we should work hard to make sure that we are not causing further harm with our words, but it's part of the bigger landscape. It's part of what we are trying to do in our liberating spaces. And if we're going to act, we have to risk. You can't be in Good's grip of control if you want to risk. UU ethicist Sharon Welch wrote in her book, The Feminist Ethic of Risk, that the work that we are called to do, or the work we have called ourselves to do, requires risk. She wrote, "What improbable task, with what unpredictable result, shall we undertake today? In trading an ethic of risk for an ethic of control. And in living out this ethos, we can neither undo the past nor control the future. But we can learn from the past, and we can live creatively, responsibly, and compassionately in the present." And I think that's what it's about. Living creatively and responsibly and compassionately. Those are the building blocks for liberation. And our religion provides a foundation for the kind of risk that flows from those building blocks. One of our new values, and the one that you're going to explore this whole month, is transformation. It reads, "We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian Universalist heritages. Never complete and never perfect." To me, this means that we are encouraged in our humanity. We are encouraged to grow and to change, to learn better so that we might do better over and over and over again. We got to get rid of old ways of thinking, of old beliefs, so that we can gain a deeper understanding of the world. For the liberation of ourselves, and of course, the liberation of others. And what I love most about this value is that it acknowledges what this looks like when we are in our full humanity. Never complete, never perfect. So, if we do away with good, then what do we strive for, you might ask? Because there are kids in the room, of course. I think we strive to be in our full humanity with compassion and kindness and care, to be kind to ourselves and stop trying to cut ourselves off from our humanity. And we strive to see the humanity in others, to see their full humanity, knowing that some days we might just want to kick people in the shin from time to time. Never complete, never perfect. We strive to be thoughtful, to hold our values close, but to allow for growth, allow for evolution of thought and opinion as we move through life, as we have new experiences, as we meet new people, as we develop new relationships. And in this way, I think we get closer to being like our living tradition, constantly changing, constantly evolving, always listening for our inner wisdom and moving towards it. I'll leave you with this. Louis Fisher, a Universalist theologian who lived around a century ago, said, "Universalists are often asked to tell where they stand. The only true answer to give to this question is that we do not stand at all. We move. We do not stand still, nor do we defend any immovable position. We grow, as all living things forever must do." The main questions with universalism are not where we stand, but which way we are moving. Our main interest is to perceive what is true progress and to keep our movements in line with that, and not allow ourselves to move around and around in circles like a squirrel in a cage. Old worn phrases are always losing their old meaning, and must forever be finding new meaning in the light of new experiences. So yeah, let's do away with good. Let's get compassionate and thoughtful and human. Let's do away with other people's opinions of what we should be and start to listen to our inner wisdom, holding our values. Let's normalize learning from our discomfort and get comfortable with never complete and never perfect. Let's move. Now, please join me in a moment of reflection in word and in silence. Listen to these words from Cassidy Hall. This blessing crossed the rivers of certitude, the seas of tension, the storm of life, and dropped at your feet in between all that is known and unknown. This blessing is here to swaddle you in care. This blessing made space for your feelings, heard your worries, saw your emotions, and gently said, "Nothing about you is too much." This blessing is proud to be with you. This blessing has been waiting its whole life to be with you. This blessing is a reminder of your oceanic oneness with the world, the beloved, yourself, your neighbor, and the stranger. This blessing keeps showing up. This blessing is hearty and vigorous, tender and sensitive. This blessing is your permission to let go, and if you need it, your encouragement to hold on. This blessing is the reminder of that soft inner stance which offers the least resistance to the gift of you. This is the blessing you've been waiting for and also never needed. Let us settle in with that with a few moments of silence.
We are the tradition of the Free Church, and that means that our church and our community outreach are supported not from an organization outside, but from within. So we invite you now to make a financial contribution to help sustain this church's vital work, knowing that every gift, large or small, is appreciated and carefully used in service to our mission. You'll see a QR code, and that's available at the back of your seat pockets if you would like to make a donation in that way. Or if you would like to donate by credit card, there'll be someone out near the kitchen that can help you with that after the service. Every week we share what is given with an organization whose works reflects our own UU values. And this month, in light of the disasters that are occurring throughout our country, but especially on the East Coast, we are giving to the UUA Disaster Relief Fund. And I'm going to hopefully let you hear someone from the UUA tell you a little bit about the Disaster Fund.
Hi, my name is Beth Casebolt, and I am a member of the UUA's Disaster Relief Fund team. When disaster hits a community, people want to help. Often that takes the form of contributing financially to organizations that they trust, organizations that they know have the relationships necessary to convert monetary donations into real-life support for the people who need it. The UUA's Disaster Relief Fund does just that. We receive donations from congregations and individuals who want to support Unitarian Universalist congregations and their wider communities in need. And we review grant applications and distribute those funds to congregations and communities following a disaster. Grants from the Disaster Relief Fund helped congregations care for their buildings and the needs of their members, as well as supporting people in the wider community, especially those who may not be eligible for other grant programs. Where have our grants gone? To Oklahoma City for ice storm cleanup, Ashland, Oregon for fire damage to congregant homes, to Cedar Rapids, Iowa for repairs following the derecho, and Arlington, Virginia for remediating flood damage. Funds have been sent following wildfires, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, ice and snowstorms, and more. In addition, the UUA understands the connection between disaster relief and justice making. It is the most vulnerable populations who suffer worst in a disaster. Disaster relief grants to our UU congregations and related organizations not only help other Unitarian Universalists, they can also support on-the-ground relief efforts through existing partnerships that congregations already have. These grants encourage congregations to build coalitions to meet the needs of their wider communities. Our Disaster Relief Fund is part of a covenant between the UUA and congregations, between congregations who give generously and those in need, and with our community partners. Through aiding our congregations, their members, and their community partners, we are able to embody our faith and values. On behalf of the Disaster Relief Fund team, I thank you for supporting this fund and for sharing our story with others.
And so, of course, the funds now will be going to the impacted areas from Hurricane Helene. And I think the ushers have already come forward to collect the offerings. Is that? Oh, okay. So they're still going to come forward. And I invite you to say with me these words in a minute. Yes. We are building beloved community with our labor and with our treasure. With gratitude, we receive the offering. May it help us to fulfill our mission to the world.
love best, which is to give a blessing. Is this thing on? I don't know, you fooled me once. Okay, so before I get to give the blessing, I just want to make a plug for Wellspring. I would love to see you all every other Wednesday to grow spiritually. It's a beautiful thing. And I believe we have a couple spots left, 3 spots left. So if you're interested, making a firm deadline by Monday so that we have plenty of time to get to know one another. And now, as you head out for the rest of the day and you leave this sacred space, I hope that you feel held in all your beauty and all your messy humanity. I hope you give yourself compassion and comfort and care. And I hope you feel comfortable with never complete and never perfect. May it give you comfort. Go in peace.
And this is your invitation to the Faith Development Hour. This morning, for our adults, we have the Voices of the Movement class. It is we listen to sections of podcasts and we discuss as the podcast, which is about the civil rights movement in Selma. It is part of the work we do as Unitarian Universalists to dismantle the racism and oppression within ourselves so that we can go out into the bigger world and do the same for our communities. I invite you to be there in community with Tim Buckley, a first-person account of being at Selma in room 105. That'll be from 11:15 to 12:45. If you have children and you're participating, our children have their fellowship time after the service. They've already done faith development this morning, so you can check them in at the nursery where they will be able to have playground time, or maybe they'll play some games or something upstairs. Depends on what the kids want to do. We also have today, you have self-facilitated activities and discussion questions on the fellowship tables if you would like to do that. And again, as the Reverend Carrie said, you have until tomorrow. We'll give you till midnight. We have 3 spots left in Wellspring. Wellspring is where we take a really deep dive into the new UU values and what it means to be in covenant with those values. Highly encourage this class. That will be twice a month on Wednesday nights from 7 to 9. All the information is in the newsletter. I do want to say that I know they said that there was an Exploring Membership class next Sunday. There won't be because there is the fair. So if you're playing, I don't want to disappoint anybody, but that will be rescheduled. So we invite you to find where you're most comfortable in your faith and in your development and take advantage of all the things we have offered today. Thank you.
And now I invite you to rise as you are able and sing our closing hymn, which is number 131 in the gray hymnal, Love Will Guide Us, and then if you'll remain standing for the extinguishing of the chalice. And as we extinguish the chalice, let us say these words to each other. We extinguish the flame that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again. Sit down. Can I sit? And it's really been a gift today to be together. And so I encourage you to spend the next 5 minutes talking with someone that you may not know, especially if you see that they have a printed name tag and maybe this is their first time here. And you can show them the membership table outside in the narthex and where the coffee is. And may we all know the blessings of fellowship.